Howdy y'all. Well, we're doing something a little different today other than gardening, but it does have flowers on it. Yesterday evening on my Farmer Brown's Paradise group page, I had posted a picture of this wreath that I had made. I have one more that I'm making today. This one is going to a friend of ours. She's actually our hairstylist. Don't pay attention to my hair, Leanne. I didn't do anything to it but wash and blow dry. I was lazy. She just closed on purchasing her very first house and is moving in this Easter weekend, so I thought it would be nice to make her a housewarming present, something for Easter that she could put on her door or on her little girl's door. So let's move on and I'll show you the steps. We're going to start out with what is called a work wreath. I order these from craftoutlet.com, and what I like about them is you can also get all the little ties in different colors to match kind of the mesh that you're using, and you can get them in different sizes. This is a smaller size. It is a 15-inch. By the time you finish, you saw how big it gets. It's going to be about 24 inches or a little bit even more. So the one that I had filmed over Christmas that I had done, I actually used the 21-inch mesh, but for yesterday's I went with the 9-inch because I didn't want it that full. I was going to be adding so much stuff to it that I didn't want it to get overwhelming, so I used the smaller width of mesh, and this was the one that I used. Now I'm out of this, but I have another kind of similar one that is relatively neutral, same kind of thing that I wanted. This one is actually a foot wide, but it'll work just fine. So the first thing you want to do on your work wreath is stand up all your work ties. Stand the ones up in the center just straight up, and then on the outside perimeter stand them straight out. And by the way, let me know if you like the sound, the mic, better on this video, because I am using a, what do you call it, lapel mic, lavalier, something like that. Shout out to Deb Turner, who had suggested I look into that. I did it, so Deb, let me know if you like the sound better. So you're going to take your mesh and just kind of drop it to the ground here. Now I'm going to fold it, gather it in my hands, just leaving about 3 or 4 inches, and you're going to push it all the way down to the wire base in between two of the ties, and then just as tight as you can, twist it a couple of times just like you would a bread tie. Okay, now I'm going to take it in my hands again, and I'm going to move down to about 8 to 10 inches. That looks about right. Go to the next bread tie, open it up, push it down again all the way to the base, and twist it hard. I like working with this mesh because you really don't have to be perfectly exact. You just kind of guess at your length, get as close as you can. It's pretty forgiving, and plus you can work it and spread it out. So you can fluff it like that. All right, I'm going to go all the way around the top. I will fast forward doing that, and then when I get all the way back around, I'll slow it down and talk to you again about the next step. Okay, I'm back around where I started, right here where the cut piece is. So what you want to do is make yourself another loop and go ahead and go right in over that initial tie. That way you're hiding your cut piece. It'll never show. Like that. Okay, now when you're ready to move down to the bottom rung, you want to hold your mesh tight, go to the nearest tie here, pull it tight and tie that off same way, and then do the exact same thing. Try to keep the same length of your mesh as you're doing your loops, and you're going to go all the way back around. I'm back around to the very end, and all we're going to do I ran out. Try to get this real straight here. Once you come back around to the end loop, if I had some left, then you would cut it off and then just tuck it in to where it's not going to show. Now let me get this onto a stand and we will move to the next steps. The next step is to add my embellishment. With the other wreath, it was a bunny head and some legs and some little paws, but this one is a boy bunny butt, and it has some wires to it, and then there are 2 individual bunny ears. So start with the bunny butt, and to secure it in, I'm not going to wire it to the ties. I need to wire it to the actual work wreath frame, and I'm going to wire it, scoot this back, I'm going to wire it to the bottom frame going to be cute. All right, now his ears. We're going to do the same thing. I just kind of like set it up there and see where it looks like it's going to be the best. You can also bend these things. I think that looks good. And I'm going to go and wire it to the very outermost ring. I love this little bunny butt too because it's got some wire in the legs, so I could kind of bend his legs to look like he's kind of jumping in there. Now for flowers. Now I get my flowers at various places. We don't have just a real high quality flower store here. So, but I do love Hobby Lobby and Kirkland's. I got a few things from Kirkland's. And basically this is just a choice. Let me show you what I've got in the way of ribbons that I'm going to use, which will kind of help with my color choices on the flowers. I have this same ribbon that I used on my other one, but I really don't want to accentuate the pink all that much, so it's going to be the ribbon that I will end up using first after I do the flowers. So I've got this one, and then I've got a kind of a blue chambray. I actually thought that this was going to be more of a chambray color, but it's kind of more aqua. But anyway, I'm going to tie in this blue chambray. I will make some bows and loops out of this flower one that has a lot of orange in it, which I want because of the carrots, and I'll show you at the end because of something else orange I'm going to be adding in. And then I have this green and white polka dot, so I'm actually going to use 4 ribbons in this, so that kind of gives you an idea of colors. So putting together some of these flowers, a lot of them will bend well and some of them don't bend so well, so I've had to do some rigging. All right, I'm going to start with some of these I already had cut apart from the last wreath I made. So I'm just going to kind of put some of these stems together. Okay, so I've got me a little grouping here, and I'm just going to take some of this lightweight floral wire and wrap it pretty tightly in a little bundle. I'm just going to pick a spot. I think down here, and I open a tie, and again you want to tie it as tight as you can, twisting it like a bread tie. And you really need to with something this long, you need to find another spot to tie it a second time, at least part of the flowers. So you come down here, down below it, and tie. And then I'll come up here, and you can alternate. It really doesn't matter, but you can alternate from the front to the back or the back to the front, however you want to do it. Just kind of trial and error and what you think looks good. All right, so I've got that in 3 spots. I'm gonna get some of these moved over. Now I'm gonna do another similar thing, maybe over here on this side, just another little grouping. Alrighty, I got another little grouping over here, and I had added in this kind of straw looking flower. I had a stem, so I came back and added another one on this side as well. Now this is my nicest little flower stem that I have. Bought it at Kirkland's, and they're really pretty. So I'm going to add them a little bit more prominently. Well, I was just talking and working away, not realizing that my battery was dead on my iPad. But as you can see, I've added in the rest of the flowers that I wanted to add. These are from Kirkland's, these and these little straw flowers here. And I have a few little, help me out, lavender. I think I got that, I'm pretty sure I got that at Hobby Lobby. And these cheap little daisies, I wanted a punch of white in here and a punch of kind of the limey green, and they were a bunch, a group at Hobby Lobby, whole little thing. There were more of them, but they were on sale for like $3.50. So that brings out his little white furry tail. Plus I think it will help when I'm, I wanted both colors in there. So now I've got the white and the kind of the limey green. Now I've decided not to add the pink ribbon in that I showed you. This, I just don't like it with it. So I'm omitting that one. Now there's several ways to add in the ribbon. And I know this blue is not the same blue, but I like it. I like the chambray look to it. So I am going to use it, and I'm going to use it first. So what I'm going to do, now usually there's a right and a wrong side, but this one's the same on both sides. But anyway, you're going to fold it, so to speak, good side together and cut a V, and that gives you a little tail. So I'm going to come down about, I don't know, 4 inches, 5 inches, somewhere in there, and I'm going to pick a spot. I think I'll start back here. Now I'll have to be rearranging some of these flowers eventually. Pick a tie and twist it in. Then, to make your loops, you want to give yourself plenty of loopy room and decide where you're going to go. You can go to the front, you can go to the back, back and forth, it doesn't really matter. So I think I'm going to go to the back here on this next tie down. Come on, fingers, work. And twist that in. And then I'm going to do a second loop. It's easier if you just let it drop to the ground because it gets all messed up. Again, give yourself plenty of room. You don't want to do tight because then it looks like just kind of stripes. It's not attractive. Tie in again. Now, I like to work in sections. So at this point, I'm going to come down and cut me another V. And then I can start over in another location. So the next ribbon, let me mention this. This is my favorite. I'm going to want it to show up the most. So it's going to be the last one that I do. So this next one will be the little flowers. And I'm going to make bows with it. So again, you cut your tail. You come down 4 or 5 inches and pinch. And see, there is a right and a wrong to this. So what you want to do when you're making a bow is twist it and make a loop. That always keeps the right side of the fabric. Twist again. Keeps the right side of the fabric facing up. Plus, if you twist it like that, it helps the bow to stand up. So I'm pinching it between my fingers. Got my tail and my 2 loops. And now I'm going to pick a spot to put it. Now I can put it at the same, on top of one of them. Kind of like it right there, front and center. There's nothing there. You're kind of looking for a hole when you're adding your ribbon. Okay, and now I'm going to loop it again. This ribbon's getting all wound crazy. I'll loop it down a little bit. I'll loop it right in here. And again, I will cut a tail. Now you're going to use the most ribbon if you do this bow thing. It takes up the most yardage. Well, it took every bit of the 10 yards of the flowers. So now we're to the last ribbon I'm going to use. The lime green and white polka dot. Cut my tail. Now this time, I'm not going to make bows. I'm just going to pick a spot to put my tail. And then make one loop. And I'm going to cut it and do it again in 3 or 4 more places. I kind of like to use odd numbers, not even. So to me, odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. Well, I think that's good for the green. Actually, it could be done, could be finished at this point. You kind of have to know sometimes when to quit, when to stop adding. But I have one more thing that I think will kind of be the carrot on the cake. And that is carrots. These are nice little wrapped carrots. They come on a stick, which is also nice. This might be a point where you might want to actually use some hot glue to help hold them in, but they can be wired in. So I'm just going to pick a few spots that I think will look nice. Yep, I like there. So I'll come around the back side and find my post. And twist it on one of the wires. I'm done. Now we'll go hanging on the front door. Well, I like how it turned out. Happy Easter, everybody. Let's remember the real reason we celebrate Easter. He is risen.